Yiheng Wang just broke the Rubik's Super World record again, but the even bigger news is probably what happened a few days ago. After being signed with GAN for 4 years, he chose not to sign back with the team, meaning he's now a free agent that can use any cube he wants. And then a video comes out with him breaking his personal record with a Moyu cube. This was already pretty crazy, but if you look at the comments, Yiheng, who works with Moyu, commented saying this: Cube Super Weilong V2, Team Moyu. There's also this comment left by Antoine, who works with Moyu, saying that Yiheng actually liked Moyu cubes earlier, like around spring of this year. But obviously he was signed with GAN before, so he couldn't use them then, but he can use them now. Now, I'm not sure if he actually officially signed with Moyu, but he did make another announcement. He did actually sign with the Cubico, which is pretty cool. I'm on the same team as Yiheng now. But this all leads to this competition, the Asian Championships. And in his first ever average, sponsored by the Cubico and using a Moyu cube, he gets world record. So, let's take a look at this average.
I think he's going for White Cross.
White Cross, definitely.
High DPS. Oh,
396
to start things off.
Here's the first scramble. Yellow's pretty okay, but white is just a really easy cross. So nothing fancy here. Just insert one cross piece, set up the next one, and then solve the cross. The first pair I see is this one, but he wants to solve a pair in the back, not the front. That way it's easier to look ahead. So instead he solves this F12 pair in the back right. Set it up, and then insert it. And you probably need this, but this will also set up another F12 pair in the back for free, which he also solves. Now he can get into this pair, which is pretty simple. Set up and insert. And then once again a pretty easy F12 pair. Right here, set up the pair, and then insert it. No rotations for the entire F12. I don't think that was planned, but pretty lucky. Then he gets this Olo, which is pretty easy. And then this PLO, a G-perm, he does the D in the beginning, so he doesn't have to do it at the end. And then G-perm. And that was a 3.96, really fast solve, even though it was 55 moves, which is not that low. And a crazy like 14 TPS. No rotations definitely helped him out, but his planning of pairs was also really smart. Doing the pairs in the back first, and then going to the front ones.
Flying through on White Cross again at Ola at 3 seconds, ending with a 429.
Immediately, between white and yellow, white is just a lot better. If you look around, there's just so much going on. There's two pairs here, and then you have one piece solved. The hard thing is preserving both of these pairs. You could do it, but since the edges for the white cross are pretty close to the pairs, it'll probably take a lot of effort to preserve both of them. So he actually doesn't do that. Instead, he's going to solve the cross pretty much like normal. So first off, solve this piece in the back, this, and then solve these two pieces in the front. So U, F, and R prime to set up this piece. Now you notice that messed up this F12 pair, unfortunately, and also this one, but there's a block here. So if you insert this edge into this slot, you can get an X cross. You could do it like this, which is actually not a bad option because you can just insert this piece in the back, make a double X cross, and then you get another free pair, and then you get this, which is pretty easy. That's actually not a bad option, but instead he chooses to solve the pair like this. So put the edge in the back, and then put in like this. And by putting it in the back, you set up this free pair while making this X cross. And then he solves this pair in the back, and all of the left F12 is solved. Also, I would do this differently. I would solve this pair in the back. RE to R prime and then set up into this. But instead he solves this pair, which I guess isn't horrible. So set it up, make the pair, and then insert it. Now the way he does his last pair is actually pretty smart. His thumbs are already in front, so you don't want to regrip or anything. There's some solutions like rotate RE to R prime, rotate back and then solve it, but that's just too many rotations. So here's the solution he does, which is pretty cool. U, set up this pair and ignore this pair, so RE to R prime. And then solve this pair, and then put this pair back. And then here's Olo, pretty simple. Take out pair, insert, sledge. I don't think he was expecting soft corners. I think he expected something different, so he hesitated a little bit. But then afterwards, did the U-perm, which is this one. Take out pair, insert, insert, U prime, done. Had a bit of mistakes there, 59 moves, but still almost 14 TPS. Pretty crazy. There are some things I would do differently there, but I think it was really smart of him to not preserve both of those free pairs in the beginning. They look deceptively good, but it's too much of a hassle to preserve both of them, so he just does the cross normally and gets a pretty easy F12 anyway.
What's gonna happen here?
Oh, F12.
F12,
Another
448.
Once again, white's looking pretty good here. There's also a block here, and the edge for the block is here. And then last cross pieces are on top, which is pretty easy. Hey, solution for this is actually pretty interesting. So first is pretty standard. First, solve the block here. So D prime O2, which also solves this piece in the back. And then with a D prime, you solve this nice block. But then he rotates. Now, I never really see Yiheng rotate during the cross, but in this case, it's actually pretty smart. And you'll see why in a second. Then he solves this piece to the left. So there's still one more cross piece to be done right here. And he's going to insert that with this. Quite an inefficient cross, but the reason why he does all of this is because it sets up this free pair. So, while inserting this red piece, you can solve this pair as well. So insert this, solve the pair. With 2 pairs solved, he has 2 more to go. And he chooses to do this pair next, which is in the back left. And it cancels from the last pair. So, pair, and it cancels into this pair setup, and then solves that. Now this last pair is not the nicest. I think this does pretty well though, so rotate this way, and he solves the pair like this. So put in the edge first, and then just solve this F12 case, which is a pretty spammable alg. Then Olo, I think he messes up a bit here, but that's that. And then same PLO as before, E-perm. Also another good solve. The solve was a bit more efficient at 55 moves, I think. Yeah, 13 TPS. But it's still pretty crazy that this 4.48 is his worst solve. But his worst solve is actually the next solve. So let's take a look at that.
Cook here. Starting on yellow cross. Oh, big pause over there. Wait, what just happened?
I think that was a PL skew.
That was...
Now you might be wondering, this is his best solve. How is this his worst solve? But we can take a look at the solution. White is pretty There is like a block thing you can kind of work with here. But I think yellow is a bit better. There's a free pair here, and the pieces are a bit better placed. So he's gonna make yellow cross. So first D prime to make these 2 cross pieces opposite of each other, and then wide out. This keeps the pair on top. Do a D prime to solve this piece. And remember, your cross is pretty simple. Just move the slice down, and F. Now I have this free pair, and it's perfectly set up going into the back, which is exactly what you want. Also, it sets up this pair for free as well. So, solve the pair in the back, you get this free pair, go straight into it, which is pretty lucky. Now here's where I think he makes a mistake. Here, you should just solve the pair in the back, because it's in the back, and also this pair requires no rotations to solve. But instead, to solve this pair, he rotates to the side, makes a pair, rotates again, and then inserts the pair. It sets up the next pair a bit better, so maybe it was intentional, but I think this was a mistake to rotate twice for this one pair. But it does cancel into this next pair, which is the last pair, and then insert it. And then this is just lefty soon, PLO skip, E2. So 2 free pairs, and then soon PLO skip. It's a pretty crazy solve. And this solve ended up being 36 moves. And it was pretty crazy that this was actually under 10 turns per second. If you turned at his average 13 turns per second for the solve, this would have been a 2.7. So crazy lucky solve, and you can tell why Yiheng was disappointed with this one. Now onto this last solve, where he has a chance to get a sub 4 average.
The pressure is on. Worst possible average of 424. 401!
Oh, what is that?
Looking around here, white's okay, there's a pair, but the pieces are kind of scattered. So yellow is probably better, and there's also a block here. And even better, there's a pair here as well. So he'll actually ignore this block. So first off, he'll solve the block in the back here. Smart. So first, U prime to set this cross piece up. Insert the pair early, and then R2 to solve this entire block in the back. And then the last 2 cross pieces are pretty standard. Just insert them like that. Now obviously you want to solve F12 pieces in the back, and this one's actually pretty nice. The edge is already in, so just insert the corner. So the corner's right here. First the U prime to set it up, and then a D. Insert that corner in here. Put it back in the back, and that solves this entire back F12. Finally are these last pairs here. You can do something actually pretty funny here. You could do like a this, and then like a S move F12. But then you get this trash. So what he does here is actually pretty good. The first obvious thing is just to set up this F12 pair. Like this. But if you insert it like normal, you get that same trash as before, which is this case. So the genius thing he does is puts it in the back, like here. R U to R prime, and suddenly this pair is free, which is really nice. And then pretty nice OLO here. PLO is a V-perm, which is unfortunate. If this is any other PLO, pretty much would have been sub 4. But he actually does it pretty fast. Here's his AUG. And that's a 4.01. He was not the happiest of his solve, but still world record average. So his first average of a Moyu Cube, he gets this average. He still has 3 more rounds in this competition. If he likes Moyu Cubes this much, he might even break this record again. Hopefully not, because I have to remake this video then. But you definitely want to stay tuned. This new Cubico Moyu Yiheng is going to be a beast. Thanks for watching.